Brian Rosenthal here. I'm the host of the Fit Growth Machine podcast, where I talk with top leaders in the fitness industry. Before introducing today's guest, let me tell you that this episode is brought to you by BSR Digital. At BSR Digital, we help fitness brands that want to scale their business to the next level through Facebook, Instagram, and Google Ads. BSR Digital knows that most e commerce brands want to grow their sales, but they lack a solid plan and professional team to help them succeed. That's why BSR Digital helps strategic plans, helps with the offer of strategic plans, implementation, optimization, and account audits to help more than 1,000 e-commerce brands like yours grow their businesses and surpass their competitors. To learn more, you can visit bsrdigital.com. That's bsrdigital.com, or you can email us at hello@bsrdigital.com. So today I have an awesome guest. His name is Diego Hurtado. He's the founder and CEO at Diaza Sportswear. Hey Diego, thanks for being on the show.
Hey Brian, how you doing, man? Thank you. Thank you for having me and happy to share some of the stuff that we've been doing out here.
Awesome. So let's get to it. So why don't you tell the audience what the company does?
Well, basically what we do is we sell uniforms and provide apparel for every soccer team out there. Like we mainly focus on soccer. Right now we're only doing soccer. So we have everything, uniforms, tracksuits, training gear, travel gear, coaches, players, even for the fans. So we have that, and we also have a really good thing that we unify with, like social media content and pictures and art designs and stuff like that brings awareness to the teams.
That's awesome. And I know that this company is related to your personal story. So how did the company start?
Well, that's a pretty long story, but to make it a little short, obviously, I've been in the soccer world for forever, since I was like 7 years old. I've been playing. I was born and raised in Colombia, so I played there. I was lucky enough to play with one of the top teams in Bogota. So so it was always in my like my belief that soccer was the way. So then I moved to United States, and then I played with different teams, college. Then I went pro, and I played for these other semi-pro teams as well. And soccer was always there. It was always there. It was in my mind, and all I wanted to do was to play soccer. Right when I accomplished going to different teams and playing in different cities here in the United States, like Vegas Lights, USL Championship, New York Cosmos. It was great, but obviously at that level, at the second division level, third division level, it gets kind of hard sometimes. You can find yourself without a club, and it's hard to move. Like you need to have a lot of connections, a lot of agents, no owners, this and that. So it's kind of tough when I find myself with our team, and I decided to start something new. Like I was getting older, obviously. I was not 18 anymore, so I was like, it's time to try to find something else to do, because soccer might leave me, or I might be there, but we're not with the economic level that I need or that I wanted at that time. So so I started looking for another options, and then I started playing, like local leagues and stuff like that, and they started asking for uniforms. So I remember my family back home in Colombia, they used to do all this type of stuff. They were designers, and they the whole life they were working in that aspect. So I was like, maybe if I ask them, they can do it for them, and I'll sell it, right? And I always been a hustler. Like I always try to sell stuff always, like even in school and college. I used to wash cars. I used to do a bunch of stuff. And so it happened. We made the uniforms in Colombia, and we brought it to Miami, and they start buying it. They start buying it like everybody. Everybody start like asking for, yo, I want this uniform. I want this. They're cool. They're good. This, that's all. Like them. I might be good at something, because I know a lot of people from the soccer world, and I know how to sell. I know how to talk to people. So there might be something here, and that's how I start everything, man. Like uh, I started with another person, with another brand. I was working for him, for his brand, right? So he was telling me like how he wanted to put his brand out there. So I was only working, getting the product, right? That's it. But then I started doing more than the guy. Like I started doing everything, marketing and like, well, marketing, if you can call it at that time, was like talking about the brand and telling friends about what we do. But then I was like, you know what? Like this guy is not doing anything. It was not his fault though. Like he had a real job, like he had real responsibilities. So he didn't have the time that I had because I was only playing soccer in the weekends or at night for $100 for $200. So I was like, I had a lot of time during the day. And then I was like, you know what? Let me get to this. I'm gonna start doing this by myself. Like I'm gonna leave the guy, but I want to create my own brand. I want to create my own logo, my own stuff, and that's how everything started, man.
Awesome. I love the story. I love the stories personally that come from the companies that start out of a personal background and a personal need. I play soccer as well, and I have played for many years since I was a kid as well. And yeah, it's true. Like all teams and amateur teams mostly need uniforms, right? We need to get them one way or the other if we want to play in a tournament or whatever. So we need that. So it's awesome that you find within your network first for sure the need and you have identified that. So I can tell based on what you're saying that sales is in your veins and that was probably the easy part for you. But how did you manage to get the uniforms done? Do you do that too? Who does that?
Nah, that was hard at the beginning because I didn't know anything about because now it's a technical sublimation, right? So you do the designs in the computer and then you send the files and they have this big, like it's like a printing, like a regular, sheet of paper, but you
Yeah.
print it in the jersey, on the fabric, right? So I didn't know none of that. Like I thought it was like, okay, cool, like I didn't know this could be real. So first of all, I didn't know anything about design, about like Photoshop, Illustrator. The guy that knew that it was my partner, right? The guy that I was working for. So when I decided to leave him, I was like, damn, now what did I do? Like he was the one providing the designs. So I know I must find somebody else. But I couldn't find anybody that was affordable, like everybody, all designers, this thing is kind of expensive. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna teach myself. And I started waking up every day, man, like 4:30 in the morning. I was YouTube, YouTube University, and I started using Photoshop, Illustrator, and I started doing all these things. And I had to, prepare myself for it because there was a lot of people asking for designs and this and that. And I was like going crazy, like, yo, how do I do this? How do I do that? And I started teaching myself, and then I learned design. I learned, how you had to send the files, how they had to print it. I knew that I had to learn about fabrics, different fabrics that you had to use. uh, how do you get the socks? How do you get this? How do you get that? Then with my family, we had to, like I went, well, at the beginning, I went there. I had to travel to Colombia, and then she only had like a little machine, like one machine. So when everything started like growing a little bit, she said like, Diego, we need at least two more machines so I can do them better. I was like, wait, you can do them better? And she's like, yeah, but we need two more machines. They're pretty expensive. So I was like, you know what? Don't worry about it. I'm gonna get the money and I'm gonna go to Colombia and then we buy them together.
So
So
was your family helping you manufacture the uniforms?
yeah, they were the ones doing them. Like I would send the files and everything, and then they go over there and they ask these friends and their connections to like like print the jerseys, and they were the one like making them. Like they didn't print them because we didn't have in that time the sublimation machines that was like crazy stuff. Like I thought to myself like, oh yo, that's crazy back. Like I'm not gonna get that. So she used to go to another place. They will print the jerseys, and then she will make them. She will sew them, and then she will bring them here. At the beginning, I had to travel to Colombia to bring them here because I thought it was the only way. Like I used to go. Like let's say you order, 50 uniforms. So I go to Colombia
No
myself,
way.
and I bring them in a bag. because I thought like exportation and doing this and sending stuff, it was very hard. Like I thought, and then because I didn't know anything, so I was like, okay, but then it got to the point where I was like, yo, I cannot do this anymore. Like, like I'm earning, $100 per order. Like there's nothing, like everything is going just that way. But I was learning, I was learning the game, so I was like, I didn't care about them. And at this point, to be honest, everything I learned, the money is an extra to me right now. So I started doing that, but then I had to learn that. I had to learn how the logistic works, how to you can have an account with DHL, how you can do cargo by yourself, how can you do a million things that just getting the information. I had to go to Colombia, talk to lawyers, talk to people, and obviously this is when the brand was getting a little bit bigger. But I have everything from the beginning. Like I wanted to learn everything from the beginning because I told my family this is gonna get big. We have only 3 machines, and I told them this is gonna get really big. Believe me, like that's why I'm doing all these things. Like I'm getting all this information, and they didn't believe me at the beginning. I guess like I would say they didn't believe me because they didn't seem so motivated, or maybe they were like, it's hard. Because in Colombia, it's hard. Like we come from a family where it's very hard. It was being very tough. The economic growth is very hard. So so I so that's why they always, like, because they've been working the same job for like 15 years. She was working with the same lady for like 15 years. She was earning nothing. So I was like, nah, you know what? Maybe and then when I gave them the uniforms, she was earning more, a lot more. So I was like, you see, if we do this, maybe you can earn much more. And then she started believing in it, and then we learned everything. She had to learn. I had to learn a lot of stuff, and then it became obviously bigger and bigger. Now I had to learn design, marketing. How do I put myself out there? Branding, like trademark. Like you had to put you want to, but like if you want to create your logo, you have to trademark it. Like because somebody can just take it and start doing your own clothing. Copyrights, how to protect your brand. Like I had to hire a lawyer. I had to go to talk to a lawyer. I never talked to a lawyer in my life. And then the guy was like, yeah, like, and the lawyer used to play with me in the Sunday leagues, right? So it was kind of funny. It was like, like he wanted to help me. Now he's my lawyer for good. Um, but I had to learn all these things, right? Like I sit down with another person that, construct business, like run zero. So it's like you had to put a business plan together. You had to do this. You had to do that. And I didn't know none of that stuff. I was like, nah, man, this is too hard. Like, I don't think I'm gonna do it. But then I ended up doing it, and I ended up, learning everything that I could, and I'm still learning a lot.
That's crazy. I mean, you gotta do it. You don't have any other choice. But I mean, people listening must be thinking he's crazy. I mean, in a good way, right? Because uh, it's exhausting only to listen you talking about that. I cannot imagine what was it for you like. I mean, to go through that process because right now you're talking about the end of a movie, let's say, but doing it in the moment, like feeling like being in a spot saying, I want to do this, I want to sell uniforms, but I just separated myself from my partner. I don't know how to do X, Y, Z. I don't know how to do anything else but the sales, let's say. So I need to learn, stay up late, learning on YouTube, visit lawyers, going to Colombia, which is a long ride from the US, to get the uniforms and take them back. And so, I mean, that's a long way you have gone so far. I mean, so congrats first. But then what are like what's the advice that you would give the audience? I mean, specifically those starting their business that probably are in the same spot as you were back then, that they say, I have this skill, but I need to develop 1,000 more skills and I'm lost, man. I don't know where to begin. I'm falling apart. What's your advice for them?
I mean, I think that we heard this before everywhere, I guess, for like big entrepreneurs or big people, how they call themselves. But I believe passion is the key word right here, because obviously I combine soccer with passion, like I was lucky enough to like go on a weekend, play with a team, and offer the uniform. You know, like I was playing with them, and then I ended up wearing my uniform, playing with them. You know, so obviously, not everybody's gonna be that lucky. Not everybody's gonna, like do that stuff. But maybe they can find something that they really like. You know, like okay, so I'm good at design. So okay, but what I like to what else is out there that I really like? You know, like maybe music. Okay, maybe I can start creating designs for artwork for social media for some other artists, and I start meeting people about music and stuff like that. It goes like a chain, like this clips this and then it goes like that, and then when you have to learn something that maybe you're not really good at it, it's not going to be a problem because the end result is what's going to matter, right? So that passion is the only thing that is going to keep you going and going and going, right? Like if you don't really love what you're doing and how you're doing it, it's kind of hard because obviously you might feel like, oh, this is what I want, but maybe it's not, so or maybe the life doesn't present that way because it is hard, like I'm not gonna lie. Look, I'm losing my eyebrow. Everybody thinks that I shave my eyebrows, but it's supposedly it's a stretch. It's like it's falling off. So it's a lot of stuff that you had to go through, where like damn, you had to put yourself out there. Like you had to go to meetings that you never been before. You had to meet people that you never met before. Like you had to talk and present your ideas, and maybe some people are just gonna laugh and this. But if you really believe it, if you have passion for it, it's gonna come to a fruition. Like it's gonna it's gonna work.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I started my first company when I was 20, and we hired people, and most people we hired were older than us. They had a family, and we were kids. And we felt very insecure at times because it's like, hey, well, what do we do? It's like, is this right? I mean, should we? I mean, we needed to learn a lot and a lot and a lot, and then we had a startup with a lot of people and venture capital, and our lawyers said, hey, I know you know about this. I have a background in computer science, so I knew about development and all stuff. So I know you know about this, but you are the owner of a startup right now with, I don't know, 30 people more or less. You need to know about X, Y, Z, I don't know, law, accounting, at least the basics to try to
Taxes, all
waters.
stuff.
So they gave me, like, I remember YouTube videos as well and some things to read and to watch. Like, you gotta make these mistakes. You gotta be watching yourself here and there and there. So it's like an MBA, when you do something by yourself and you walk your own journey, let's say, and you make your own path. I think that it's your own MBA. It's full of lessons. And I think that's no coincidence for you. I don't know if you have ever thought about it, but I believe soccer, your career as a player with this company, that you have a lot in common. And I think that the common denominator or one of them is mindset. The discipline, the mindset that you need to have as a soccer player to overcome, as you said, obstacles, frustration, hard work, long-term thinking. Uh, those are the things that get you going when you start a business like this. Probably if you didn't have that background, you have never uh, thought this way, because it's like, oh, people think that success is an overnight thing or it's only luck. And it's like, yeah, luck plays a role, but it's only a small piece in the whole puzzle. So, what do you think about that?
Well, man, I'm glad you bring that up because it is, like I say, it's like a change, right? So if I think if I never played soccer before and everything I went through soccer, I wouldn't make it in business because it's basically not the same, but it's related. Like, because in sports, like you got more, or at least me, I got more defeats than victories, right? Like I never get to play MLS, first division. That was my whole time dream. Like I wanted to get to MLS extremely bad, right? Like I did a million things that I don't believe people will do it. Like I'm pretty sure the many players that if they ever heard this, that they know that one day that I was playing in Miami, and that I said to myself, I need to play pro soccer. Like that's it. Like this is my dream. I had to do something. I saw everything that I had. I had a bike, like a motorcycle, like a Kawasaki. It was really nice. So I saw that. I saw my PlayStation. I saw everything, and I was like, I'm gonna get that money, and I'm gonna move to a town where there's a professional team, and it was New York. So I sold everything, and I only collect like 700, no, like $5,000. And then I moved to New York to a little room. Like it was this little. It was my bed and a little space. It was nothing else. And then I went there and I lived there for like a month. And that whole month I was looking for the team, for the coach of New York Cosmos. He didn't know me, nobody knew me. So I was calling them, I was emailing them. They didn't do nothing. That whole month I had to train by myself in a little park in the cold. I was never in that cold because New York is really cold, and I was never cold. Then then finally, after a month, the professional team played in the stadium. So I went there to look for the coach. And I was like, Coach, please give me a chance. I just want to train with you guys. You know what these guys say? Is like, oh yeah, I got your text, I got your emails, but right now I cannot talk to you. It's game day, so sorry about it. And he left. I was depressed, man. I was like, nah, that's it. It's over. Like, I'm not, this is not for me, blah, blah, blah. Then I turned around and another coach that I knew that it was Colombian, he was looking at me. He's like, hey, how are you? And he started saying hi to me. And I started telling him my whole story. Coach, I just moved, blah, 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 blah. Please help me out. And he's like, you know what? I'm going to help you out. And then he put me in the team. He put me in the B team. And I played the whole season with the B team. And then they moved me up to the first team. But it's crazy. Then another time I went to another town following a coach. Okay, he said, yes, come play for my team, but he never answered ever again. So I had no team, I had no contract, I had nothing. So I had to flew to that place. And then I had to tell him, hey, I'm here and you're training in your stadium, let me play. And I was staying in an Airbnb. Like I never had anybody to handle me, like, oh, here you go, pick up the phone. Hey, my agent, where you at? Go to the stadium, he's waiting for you. Never ever nobody was waiting for me. I always try to make that happen. So and I did a lot of times too, even locally and stuff like that. And coaches, owners will close the door on me. And I just kept on going, like, no, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna play. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. And then, like I did it. Like I played second division. I didn't play as much as I wanted to be real. Like obviously I wanted to be at the top. Like I wanted to get a championship. Like I wanted to get like good 5 years over there, make a lot of money. But it never happened. But I was there, always fighting, always trying to get that opportunity, looking for it. Like I was always looking for it. I had like 4 agents. And I think I did more work than them for, looking for a club because they were just waiting for the opportunity. But I always go and chase that opportunity. So I think what I suffer in soccer is not, to me now, is nothing compared to what I suffer in business, right? Like if I get a rejection, it's whatever to me. It's like, okay, next, like if I know who I am and I know what I bring to the table. So if you tell me no, it's nothing personal. This is business. Okay, man, you might have a better opportunity with somebody else. I'm not the only one in the market. I'm the newest one in the market. If something, thank you for giving me an opportunity, But I see things that way. I don't take anything personal with anybody. Never. Never. If you tell me no, okay, it's cool. Like, don't worry about it. You don't have to explain me. You don't have to tell me, oh, because I have my friend. No, it's cool. You can do whatever, you feel better for your business, for your team. Because teams, amateur teams, lower league teams, they have a lot to spend, man. There's a lot that they need to worry about. Stadium, this, that, not right now, they pay players in some of the lower league teams that I have connections with. And they had to pay players and they had to do this. And like, so it's a lot of stuff. So when I bring my project, my brand to the table, and I tell you how valuable can we be for you, if you appreciate it and you go with us, I will give you everything. I will work for you. My whole company is going to work for you, and we're going to do the best for you. But if you cannot do it at that moment, it's fine. No, if you see yourself wearing another brand, I totally respect that. I would never take anything personal. And I think the struggle, the people closing the doors of me playing soccer, the what you say, the tears, the bad moments, the rejections, all that build the character that I have now to do it in business. So it's I'm very grateful to never make it to the top, because it built me as I am right now. So I'm rooting to make it to the top in this side.
Yeah, everything we experience in life help us to get better at something, regardless of whether we realize that right on the spot or not. Sometimes we realize things later because we feel that it's unfair or whatever that happens, that something happens to us. But then a few months or days or years, even later, we realize that that happened for a reason. And the key takeaway I get from everything that you said, which was awesome, is that you need to, I mean, you listening, you guys listening, I mean, you need to knock on the right doors, because if you do, you need to, if you persist and knock on the right doors, you can get the visibility that you deserve and that you're looking for. But nobody is, or it's not really likely that someone comes to your door to knock on yours and say, hey, I want you, right? There are a few exceptions, but you shouldn't expect that. It's like you should go and knock on the doors that you want. So there's a company I work with, and they always talk about the Dream 100 list, right? Who do you want to get for whatever, for the podcast, for your company, for life, or whatever? Who do you want to talk with? Who do you want to talk with? And then go get them. Find someone in your network that you guys have in common. Find what they want the most, and try to get them for. I mean, do not expect a cold call or a cold message to do the trick, right? You sold your stuff. You moved to another state. You lived in a small place. You, I don't know, stock, let's say the coach for, I don't know, email, phone, in person. So, and then you got a chance from a different one, but because all of the previous stuff that you did to get there. So when someone tells you or someone else, hey, lucky you, besides being an expression, it's far from luck. So you should go get what you want. So it's a beautiful lesson what you're telling. So yeah, I love that. So switching a little bit to business and to the current efforts that you're doing to get customers. I know there's a little bit here, a little bit there for your business. So could you please tell the audience briefly what you guys do to get your customers or to get traffic to your website or traction for your business?
Well, we mostly do. We see a lot of traffic and a lot of reaction to our social media, right? That's a lot of stuff that we be putting into, like Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Is being key to our business. To be honest with you, I don't think I'll be here talking to you if there was no Instagram. I cannot lie. So like
Yeah.
I tell every team out there, everybody out there, if you don't have Instagrams, if your business don't have social media, your business do not exist. It's that simple. It's I mean it depends though, like when, because obviously there's other companies, there's other people that do things by just connection, like networking. They don't really need to market the product there because they don't even have product. They have, like maintenance, or they do labor jobs, like those labor jobs. Obviously you don't really have to put them out there and sell them, because what are you gonna sell? Like a wall, like, and you fix a wall, like, it's not that. Obviously, if you're smart enough and you want to get that big, you create a channel, you do this social media stuff, and there's many things, like TikTok now, and this and that. There's so many things that you can do with social media to scale your business to the max, but there's some people that don't do it. But I think in soccer, you really need to put this stuff out there, like if you're a team and you don't really have like every weekend that you play a content out there, it's gonna be hard to people to believe in you. People, when these teams needs a lot of sponsors, and if you don't have a good page, how to like people contact us like lately, like a lot of people tell us about, oh, can you sponsor my team? Like they want something, like not free or maybe free, like I don't know, but they want to be a sponsor. So then we go look at the Instagram, their page. Man, us, we put content every single day. There's no one day that we don't put content. Every single day, Monday through Sunday, we put content. Like in Instagram, in Facebook, in Twitter. We have a whole team just to do that. I had to invest a lot of money just to do that. But I think that's very important to me because it's gonna put my brand out there. Like everybody's gonna see that I'm making the effort, that I'm putting the effort to be out there. Now, if a team comes to me and they don't do the same, the last post was a year ago, like what how you want me to sponsor you? Like, and that goes with any single company. Like, how do you want me to sponsor you if you're not gonna put my business out there for people to see it? So I think social media is very important for them. And obviously, like the connections that I have in the soccer world, the whole stage cities that I play with, I always talk to people from there, from those teams. Obviously, the connection that I have are more for like professional teams. And before, I couldn't do professional teams. I was building a product. I was trying to get there, right? But now, like I do have the product to go to a professional team. I had the logistics, so we're confident by next year we're gonna have at least 2-3 pro teams, and that's gonna put us out there even more, So yeah, social media, networking, people that I know, obviously the reference, people talking about us, teams telling other people to, hey, look, this Diaza doing good stuff. You might be working with them if you want. Like we offer stuff for, let's say we do business with you, right? And if you go and talk to another team about us, maybe we can, do some free stuff for you, training jerseys or stuff like that. Like there's always deals going on with us. Like we like I said, like right now we don't focus on money. We don't want money. We want to put our name out there, and we believe creating these relationships is what it was good for us.
Awesome. So I really enjoyed this conversation. So before we wrap up, is there anything I can ask you that you think will benefit the audience?
Is anything that I can ask, or you want to ask me?
I mean, is there anything I didn't ask that you think that will benefit the audience? Anything you would like to mention that I didn't ask?
Well, I mean, I can tell by experience, like what I've been through, and I believe, if anybody's hearing this, listen, I was born and raised in Colombia. I came to a new country when I was 17 years old. I didn't speak any word of English, anywhere. Like it was really bad. I went through college and I didn't know any English. I had to translate everything. I have a criminal justice degree. I don't even use it, but I have it. So I went through myself through all that. Now I'm creating a business. I play different stuff. I live in different cities. And if I could do it, me, that I was born and raised in Bogota, in like a really bad place from Bogota where income is very low. Like nobody has expectations of nothing over there. To come here and do this, like I think everybody can do it. If you really put your mind into it, like anybody can do it. Like, so if you're thinking about creating a business, if you're thinking about, oh, but maybe I cannot do it, trust me, if you speak perfect English, or even if you don't speak perfect English, this is the country to build your dreams and to build whatever you want out there. You could definitely do it. Trust me, like taking from this guy that I didn't think I was gonna able to speak English when I came here. Like I said to myself, this is too hard. Like, and now look where I'm at. So, and now I project myself doing big things. Even though I don't like to think about the future, I'm confident enough now that the person I have become, it could achieve like a lot of things. So, so that's there, man. I don't think there's any other advice or any other thing that I can give to the public. Just to believe in yourself. And even if your mom, your dad doesn't support you, whoever doesn't support you, like just do not listen to them. Like listen to your heart and go for it, man. That's the key.
That's great advice. I appreciate that. So where can people go to find more about you and the brand?
Well, we have over this our whole social media is called Diaza Football, Diaza Football in English. That's all social media. We got Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, even TikTok. And then our page is www.diaza.us. That's that's what that's our main page. That's our website. And then that's it. I mean, those are platforms.
Awesome. Thanks for being on the show. It was a pleasure to have you.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you a lot, and thank you for having me, man. Happy to share everything that we just discussed, and thank you. Good luck and everything.